Welcome everyone to today's video where we will decode one of the most complex codes in relationships, the deadly combination of avoidance and narcissism. At first glance, avoidance and narcissism seem like two completely separate concepts. An avoidant person seems withdrawn and reserved, while a narcissistic person is overly confident and likes to show off. However, few people know that sometimes a narcissist puts on a mask of avoidance to hide their true nature, and this is the dangerous trap that many people have been, are, and may fall into. Have you ever felt your relationship was off? Is the person both cold and distant and has behaviors that make you feel confused and hurt? Is it just a person with a simple avoidant attachment style, or is there something else hidden behind it? If you have ever asked such questions, then this video is for you. In today's video, I will share with you 7 red signs, early warnings, to help you identify a narcissist who is disguised under the guise of an avoidant person. These are not just theoretical signs, but also experiences, lessons learned from reality, from the stories that I have listened to and witnessed. We will peel off each layer of the shell together, carefully analyze each behavior to clearly see the true face of the narcissist. We will explore the psychological manipulation tricks, the ways they use to control and exploit others, and more importantly, we will find ways to protect ourselves, our loved ones, from unnecessary harm. Join me in this battle not to retaliate or judge, but to better understand human nature, to equip ourselves with weapons of self-defense, and to build healthy and happy relationships. Join me to expose the truth before it's too late. To answer the question of whether a person with an avoidant attachment style can be a disguised narcissist, we must first understand 2 key factors: the narcissist's cycle of abuse and the link between attachment style and narcissism. The narcissist's cycle of abuse, a whirlwind of hurt, usually includes 4 main stages. First is the idealization stage, when the narcissist puts you on a pedestal, making you feel special, precious, and irreplaceable. They make you believe that you are everything to them, the perfect other half they have been looking for. Next is the devaluation stage, when the initial glitter gradually fades. The narcissist begins to lose interest, belittling you with words and actions that make you doubt your own worth. You feel like you are walking on eggshells, always afraid of doing something wrong. Then comes the discard stage, when you are no longer useful to them. The narcissist will not hesitate to leave or replace you with someone else, leaving you with deep emotional wounds. But things don't stop there. The hoovering stage will come, when the narcissist tries to pull you back into the cycle of abuse with sweet promises, remorseful apologies. However, all this is only to maintain their control over you. If you find this pattern familiar, if these stages are repeated in your relationship, then you may be falling into a relationship with a person who not only has an avoidant attachment style, but also has narcissistic tendencies. A toxic combination that can cause serious psychological harm. Numerous studies have shown that people with narcissism often exhibit insecure attachment styles, including both avoidance and anxiety, creating a complex and contradictory psychological picture. This distinction becomes even clearer when we consider the 2 main forms of narcissism: grandiose and vulnerable. Grandiose narcissists, with their inflated egos and constant need for admiration, often tend to have an avoidant attachment style. Their confident, even arrogant exterior hides a deep fear of true intimacy, because they fear being controlled and losing their center of the universe position. In contrast, vulnerable narcissists carry deep-seated insecurity, always craving reassurance from others, but at the same time fearing rejection and criticism. And this internal conflict often leads to an anxious or fearful avoidant attachment style, making them want to come close and push away at the same time. Both of these narcissistic groups, although expressed differently, use emotional avoidance as a powerful tool to control relationships. And this is the key intersection between narcissism and avoidant attachment style. Avoidance is not just a personality trait, but a strategy they consciously use to maintain power, manipulate others, and avoid responsibility in relationships. To recognize an avoidant person with narcissistic tendencies, we need to observe subtle signs in their behavior and interactions, because the line between these two personality types is sometimes thin and easy to confuse. Signal 1. They have a recurring cycle of closeness and distance. The avoidant narcissist approaches you with a charming, generous, and enthusiastic appearance. They make you feel like you are special, loved, and cherished. They whisper sweet words into your ear, paint a beautiful future with you, making you believe that this is the ideal life partner you have been longing for. When you have taken the bait, the avoidant narcissist begins to reveal their true nature. They approach you when they need something from you: admiration, financial help, emotional support, or simply a temporary crutch. They do not hesitate to take advantage of your kindness and trust to achieve their goals. After achieving what they want, the avoidant narcissist begins to withdraw. They become cold, indifferent, and distant. They cite excuses of being busy, tired, or having personal problems to avoid you. They do not want you to become too close or dependent on them, because that will make them feel suffocated. After a period of disappearance, the avoidant narcissist suddenly reappears, bringing sweet apologies and promises to change. They again make you feel like you are important, loved, and needed. You fall into their trap again, believing that this time things will be different. And then the cycle repeats. Thus, the vicious cycle of closeness and distance continues. The avoidant narcissist takes advantage of you, abandons you, and then comes back to you, trapping you in a toxic, inescapable relationship. Avoidant narcissists are people with low self-esteem and a deep fear of being abandoned. They crave closeness and love, but at the same time fear commitment and hurt. They use the avoidance mechanism as a way to protect themselves from negative emotions. To escape the vicious cycle of an avoidant narcissist, you need to recognize the toxic nature of this relationship. You need to learn to love and respect yourself, set clear boundaries, and not allow anyone to take advantage of or hurt you. Sometimes you need to accept the truth that this relationship cannot be saved, and you need to let go to find true happiness. Remember, you deserve to be loved and cherished. Never accept a relationship that makes you feel insecure, miserable, and lost. Signal 2. They use guilt to control you. The avoidant narcissist does not attack directly. They are not loud, do not criticize publicly. Instead, they use silence, indifference, and unintentional actions to make you feel guilty. They are good at playing on your compassion, making you question yourself, doubt yourself, and ultimately take responsibility for the problems in the relationship. Imagine you try to set a healthy boundary, such as taking time for yourself or refusing to do something that you are not comfortable with. Their reaction will not be a fiery argument. Instead, they will be silent, appear sad, or unintentionally mention the difficulties, the injuries they have experienced. They do not directly accuse you, but through actions and words full of implication, they make you feel guilty that you are being selfish, inconsiderate, and unappreciative of them. This guilt will eat away at your confidence. You begin to doubt your ability to make decisions, you are afraid of offending them, and ultimately you gradually give up the boundaries that you have tried to establish. You fall into a vicious cycle, always trying to appease them, follow their wishes, just to exchange for a little fragile peace. And thus the avoidant narcissist achieves their goal, controlling you through guilt. It is worth mentioning that they are not aware of or deliberately ignore the harm they cause you. They consider making you feel guilty a self-defense tactic, the only way for them to feel safe in the relationship. They avoid responsibility for their behavior and blame you for not understanding them. So how to escape this trap of guilt? The most important thing is that you must realize that the guilt you are experiencing is not your fault. You have the right to set boundaries, you have the right to say no, and you are not obligated to be responsible for the emotions of others. Learn to listen to your intuition. If you feel that something is wrong in the relationship, if you always feel guilty even though you have done nothing wrong, trust that feeling. Do not try to justify the behaviors of others. Look at the problem objectively and honestly, and seek support from those around you, from friends, relatives, or psychologists. They will help you see the situation more clearly and provide you with advice and necessary tools to protect yourself. And finally, remember that you deserve to be loved and respected. Never allow someone to exploit guilt to control and manipulate you. Stand up for yourself and seek healthy, happy relationships where you can be yourself. Signal 3. They leave when you need them most. Avoidant narcissists not only run away from deep emotions, they use avoidance as a weapon, a tool to maintain power and control in the relationship. They know your weaknesses, they know when you need them most, and that is also the time they disappear most ruthlessly. Imagine, you are going through a difficult period in your life. It could be pressure from work, health problems, or simply the fatigue and stress of everyday life. You crave companionship, sharing from your partner, the person you trust and love. You turn to them, hoping to receive comfort, encouragement, a shoulder to lean on. But instead of a warmth, they may be busy with nameless tasks. They may cite fatigue to avoid you, or worse, they completely ignore your emotions as if you do not exist. They are not simply not there for you physically, but they also deprive you of all hope of connection, of understanding. The feeling of being abandoned, betrayed at the most difficult time will gnaw at your heart. You feel lonely, lost, and lose faith in the relationship. You begin to doubt yourself, wondering if you deserve to be loved. And thus, the avoidant narcissist achieves their goal. They make you feel small, weak, and more dependent on them than ever. It is worth mentioning that this behavior often occurs in a cycle. After such disappearances, they may come back to you, pretending to be remorseful, promising to change. They again paint you beautiful prospects, making you believe that they have really awakened. But then, when you give them a second chance, history repeats itself. They leave again, abandon you when you need them most. This is the cycle of abuse that the avoidant narcissist creates. They trap you in a relationship full of pain and instability, where trust and hope are eroded over time. So how to escape this cycle? First of all, you need to clearly recognize the manipulative behavior of the other person. Be brave to face the truth that your partner is not just avoidant, but also has characteristics of narcissism. Learn to love and take care of yourself. Do not seek validation from others. Believe in yourself and allow yourself to be sad, to be angry, to be hurt. And finally, be prepared to leave if you feel this relationship is harming your mental health. You deserve to be loved, respected, and to be with people who truly care about you. Never accept living in a relationship full of pain and instability. Signal 4. They have superficial relationships but no depth. Narcissists, whether grandiose or vulnerable, all have a deep need for admiration and recognition from others. They see relationships as a means to satisfy this need, not as a sincere and deep connection. This is especially true for avoidant narcissists. They can maintain a series of social relationships, but all lack sincerity and emotional depth. Observe how they interact with others. They may appear charming, active, even generous, but behind that facade is an emotional emptiness. They are not really interested in the feelings, thoughts, or needs of the other person. They are only interested in how others perceive them, evaluate them, and provide them with the narcissistic supply they crave. The relationships of the avoidant narcissist are often transactional in nature. They make friends with people who have high social status, are talented, or can bring them some benefit. They can date many people at the same time, but do not really belong to anyone. They keep everyone at a safe distance, not allowing anyone to access their inner. The lack of depth in the relationships of the avoidant narcissist is shown in many aspects. They are not willing to share their true thoughts and feelings. They avoid intimate conversations, deep sharing about personal life. They may talk about their successes, about the good things they have done, but never talk about the difficulties, failures, or injuries they have experienced. They also do not listen to others sincerely. They may nod, smile, but their minds are elsewhere. They are just waiting for their turn to speak, to show off, to attract attention. They are not really interested in what others are saying unless it relates to them. This superficiality is not only shown in social relationships, but also in romantic relationships. They may have a partner, but do not really connect with that person emotionally. They may live together, but do not share their deepest thoughts and feelings. They may have children, but do not really care about the emotional needs of their children. The consequences of these superficial relationships are loneliness, emptiness, and lack of affection. Both the avoidant narcissist and those around them feel misunderstood, unloved, and not truly connected. If you notice your partner, relative, or colleague has the above signs, be careful. You may be facing an avoidant narcissist. Learn more about narcissism and the avoidant attachment style to protect yourself from unnecessary harm. Signal 5. They are obsessed with control. Narcissists by nature always want to be in control of everything around them. They crave power, like to dominate others, and feel insecure when they cannot control the situation. However, in avoidant narcissists, this obsession is disguised more subtly. They do not directly order or force. Instead, they use indirect, subtle, but no less toxic tactics to achieve their goals. Controlling through distance. This is a powerful weapon that avoidant narcissists often use. They create an invisible distance between you and them, making you feel difficult to approach and understand. They may be silent for hours, even days, not replying to messages, not answering the phone. They may cite excuses of being busy, tired, or simply needing their own space to refuse any closeness or intimacy. Maintaining this distance not only helps them avoid deep emotions, but it is also a way for them to control you. They make you feel insecure, anxious, and always try to chase them. You gradually become dependent on them, craving their attention, their acceptance. And thus, they take the initiative in the relationship, controlling your emotions and actions. Controlling through manipulation. Besides distance, avoidant narcissists also use subtle psychological manipulation tricks to control you. They may make you feel guilty, make you doubt yourself, or make you believe that all problems are caused by you. They are good at playing on your compassion, making you feel responsible for rescuing them for. They can also use sweet words, feigned caring gestures to lure you. They make you believe that they love you, that they need you, that they will change. But all are just elaborate staged scenes to keep you under their control. Recognizing and dealing with an avoidant narcissist obsessed with control is extremely difficult because they do not reveal their true face from the beginning. They slowly, step by step, invade your life, manipulate you psychologically, and make you gradually lose your self-confidence and independence. Remember, you deserve to be loved and respected. Never allow someone to control your life and emotions. Stand up for yourself and seek healthy, happy relationships where you can be yourself. Signal 6. They fear commitment but don't want you to leave. One of the clearest signs of a person with an avoidant attachment style but simultaneously possessing narcissistic traits is the tug-of-war between the desire for independence and the need for control. They avoid intimacy for fear of commitment, fear of losing control or feeling hurt. However, that does not mean they want you to leave completely. On the contrary, they want to keep you within their sphere of influence without having to truly commit. These people may exhibit emotional distance, refuse deep conversations, or avoid long-term commitments. But when you try to leave, they can come back strongly, exhibiting behaviors to pull you back, such as promising to change, expressing intense affection, or making you feel guilty for wanting to leave them. This creates a toxic cycle where you always feel trapped between keeping your distance and being pulled back abruptly. Their typical behaviors may include avoiding important conversations about the future or commitment but being jealous or controlling when you intend to leave, not expressing affection consistently but reacting strongly when you try to distance yourself, using manipulative tactics such as silence, blaming, or creating guilt to keep you within their influence, maintaining ambiguity in the relationship, not letting you know exactly where you stand, but also not letting you have the opportunity to seek a healthier connection. The important thing to understand is that this tug-of-war is not a sign of true love, but a form of control. People with narcissistic and avoidant traits do not seek true intimacy, they seek power and a sense of security by keeping you in a state of emotional ambiguity. They do not want to invest deep emotions, but also do not want you to have the opportunity to experience true love with someone else. If you find yourself always feeling trapped in a relationship where you cannot move forward nor can you withdraw, you are very likely facing an avoidant person with narcissistic tendencies. To protect yourself, you need to set clear boundaries, understand your worth, and not get caught in this toxic push-pull cycle. A healthy relationship is not a place where you feel precarious, but a place where you can grow and be loved genuinely. Signal 7. They seem to lack real empathy. One of the most noticeable characteristics of people with an avoidant attachment style, especially when combined with narcissistic tendencies, is a lack of genuine empathy. They may appear to understand you, act like they are listening, but their actions often lack sincere care and emotional connection. When you share difficulties, sorrows, or joys, they may respond in a way that seems reasonable, but deep down you still feel like you are not truly heard. Their words are often superficial, more social than coming from genuine empathy. When you are sad or hurt, instead of showing comfort, they may react by being annoyed, distant, or even change the subject. This makes you feel lost and unsupported during important times. An avoidant person with narcissistic tendencies may show empathy only when it serves their interests. They may pretend to care about your feelings to get what they want, but when it is no longer necessary, this care disappears. In a healthy relationship, both people care about each other's emotional state. However, an avoidant person may not actively ask about you, not notice your signs of sadness or worry, and rarely actively comfort you when you need it. When you try to express your feelings, they may say that you are too sensitive or complicating things. This makes you feel isolated and may start to doubt your own feelings. People with an avoidant attachment style often grow up in environments where emotions are not valued or are suppressed. As children, they may have learned that expressing emotions is useless or dangerous, so they gradually close off their own emotions. As adults, they have difficulty connecting with their own emotions, leading to an inability to empathize deeply with others. In addition, those with avoidant narcissistic tendencies may view empathy as a sign of weakness. They do not want to reveal themselves or invest in the emotions of others because it may cause them to lose control in the relationship. We have just explored the complex and challenging aspects of the relationship between avoidance and narcissism. Hopefully, through the sharing in this video, you have gained a deeper understanding of the hidden motivations, the deep emotional wounds within each person. It can be seen that the avoidant attachment style can be influenced by narcissism, creating a complex, multifaceted psychological picture. However, even though each person may carry their own hurts and difficulties, we should not forget that all deserve empathy, understanding, and respect. If you notice these signs in yourself, do not rush to judge or blame. Look at it sincerely and with compassion, understanding the difficulties you are experiencing. This does not mean that you have to accept or condone negative behaviors. The important thing is that you need to be aware of the problem so that you can change and grow. Similarly, if you notice these signs in your loved ones, give them patience. Listen and support. Sometimes avoidant or narcissistic people are struggling with pain that they cannot put into words. Your empathy and understanding can be a great source of encouragement for them. However, on the journey of healing and building healthy relationships, sometimes we need professional help. Psychologists can provide you with the knowledge, tools, and therapies needed to overcome difficulties and achieve true happiness. Remember, you are not alone on this road. There are many people willing to listen, share, and help you. Do not hesitate to seek support when needed. Finally, the most important thing is to always love and respect yourself. You deserve to be happy and have healthy, meaningful relationships. Believe that with effort and perseverance, you will achieve what you desire.